You're burning up, shaking, praying you'll survive the night. The door creaks open and steps, the village healer robes, swaying, face grim. She squints, mutters something under her breath, and drops a live chicken on your chest. "This will cure you," she says. Dead serious. You don't laugh? No one does. That was actual medieval medicine. In the Middle Ages, getting sick wasn't just unlucky, it was terrifying. In 1348, Europe was being torn apart by the Black Death. Entire towns were wiped out. No one knew about bacteria. Germ theory was still centuries away, so naturally, they blamed smells, evil spirits, bad air, divine punishment. One popular cure: strap a live chicken to your skin. People believed that a chicken's body heat could suck the disease right out of us, especially if you placed it over a plague boil. If the bird died, well, it meant it had absorbed the poison, which was, weirdly, a good sign. Physicians, some trained, others just confident, swore by it. One Italian doctor, Gentile da Foligno, actually documented the practice. Imagine lying in bed, weak, burning up, feathers floating in the air as your family watches and hopes. This squawking bundle of feathers is your ticket to survival. Now, not everyone was lucky enough to get a chicken. Some were told to whip themselves. Literally, the flagellants were religious fanatics who believed the plague was God's punishment for sin. Their cure? Walk from town to town, chanting hymns, and lashing their backs bloody with leather cords tipped in metal. They thought their suffering would cleanse the world. People joined in. They sobbed, bled, believed they were saving their neighbors. But here's the twist. Wherever they went, outbreaks followed. They weren't curing the plague, they were spreading it. Imagine the irony trying to save your soul while becoming a biological weapon. Now, let's talk about hematology. Not our hematology. Doctors back then believed your body was made of 4 humors: blood, phlegm, yellow, bile, and black bile. Get sick? One of the humors must be out of balance. The solution? Drain it. Bleeding was a go-to remedy for nearly everything: fever, headache, even depression. They used leeches or knives. They'd open a vein in your arm and just let it flow. Some people passed out, some died. But if you survived, it was proof it worked. Right? Barbers often did the bleeding. Yes, like the people who cut your hair. That's why barber poles have red and white stripes. Red for blood, white for bandages. No image of medieval medicine is more iconic than the plague doctor. Long cloak, leather gloves, and that beaked mask. The beak wasn't just for style. It was filled with herbs, rose petals, even vinegar-soaked sponges. The idea? Filter out the bad air they thought carried disease. Stench of death was everywhere, and people were desperate for anything that smelled like life. These doctors were brave. They walked into plague houses, touched the dying, tried to bring order to chaos. But sometimes they recommended some weird things. They recommended things like crushed emeralds, unicorn horn powder, yes, unicorn horn powder, and our personal favorite, urine. Bathing in it, drinking it, rubbing it on sores. The logic? Something was already inside your body, maybe it could fight off whatever was killing you. This next one is not for the faint of heart. Corpse medicine. That's right, drinking the dead. From the 12th century all the way into the Renaissance, people believed consuming parts of a dead body could transfer that person's vitality into you. Blood was especially prized warm, fresh, ideally from someone young and strong. Execution day, crowds would gather to collect the freshly spilled blood. Some even dipped bread into it like sacrament. Then came mummy powder. Yes, ground-up Egyptian mummies. Merchants imported it, doctors prescribed it, and nobles snorted it like it was magic dust. They believed it could cure epilepsy, internal bleeding, and even give you energy. Take a second here. Would you swallow a pinch of dried, embalmed farro to cure a headache? If the chickens didn't help and the bloodletting failed, medieval people turned to animals of all kinds. Toad in your throat. Literally, some would put a toad in their mouth to cure strep. For toothaches, you could catch a mouse, cut it in half, and press it to your gums. Pig fat for chest pain. Burnt dog dung for swelling. Goat urine for the eyes. One remedy even involves stuffing a cooked puppy with herbs and placing it on your stomach. If the puppy died, the sickness was gone. Sometimes the remedies were so bizarre, you wonder, were they trying to help or just playing? Not all medieval remedies were ridiculous. Some were surprisingly wise. Herbs were the domain of apothecaries, monks, and village-wise women. They brewed teas, poultices, and tonics from sage, thyme, wormwood, and hundreds of other plants. Many of these ingredients had real effect: antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, or soothing. Take Hildegard of Bingen, 12th century abbess who wrote detailed medical texts. She recommended fennel for digestion and mint for fever. Not so different from what your grandma might say. These healers were the unsung scientists of their time, though often dismissed or feared as witches. They left behind knowledge that echoes in modern medicine. But let's be real, alongside that mint tea, they'd probably also recommend burying a dead mole under your bed, just in case. Then there were the surgeries. Without anesthesia, without antibiotics, just faith and a knife. One common operation was trepanation, drilling a hole in the skull to release evil spirits or cure headaches. Patients were held down. If they didn't die of infection, people believed it worked. Broken leg, splint it with wood, and hope. By problems? Cauterize it. Kidney stones, a process called lithotomy. No anesthesia, just a knife and a prayer. Surgeons were seen as butchers, not scholars. But in the chaos of war or plague, someone had to act. Someone had to try. And sometimes, they succeeded. There's a strange beauty to all of this, isn't there? Desperate kind of hope. It's people using whatever they had. Herbs, chickens, dead kings to fight something they didn't understand. To cling to life in a world of chaos. They weren't stupid. They were scared, just like we are when faced with the unknown. And as insane as these remedies seem today, a few of them worked. Well, kind of. Willow bark for pain relief, hello, aspirin, honey for wounds, natural antibiotic, and leeches are still used in microsurgery to this day. Medieval medicine was messy, ridiculous, often cruel, but it was also human. So the next time you pop an ibuprofen or rub Vicks on your chest, remember the man in bed, chicken on his chest, praying it would work. Remember the nun crushing fennel, the barber sharpening his knife, the mother tucking herbs under her child's pillow. They were all just trying to survive. And if you found this bizarre journey through medieval medicine fascinating, wait until you hear how a single rumor could burn an entire village to the ground. Because in the next video, we're diving into the medieval gossip networks that ruled politics, justice, and revenge. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.